Hi. So I was inspired by a reply left to a comment I made on one of Voscoin's recent videos regarding the Kadena miner that I have been mining with for a few months now. And to make this video and just go over really my experience mining Kadena and why I think it really has a future as a crypto and is going to go up to be in the top 10 sometime, hopefully soon, but it might take some time. We'll have to see how everything goes, and let's get right into it. So, Kadena, as most of you probably already know, has gone parabolic the last few weeks, days, month, whatever you want to call it. It's been insane. We go to CoinGecko here, we can look at these returns for 30 days. A year is insane, but what's crazier than the year returns is about half that could even be from just 90 days. As if we go back to beginning of August, the coin's price was actually around 60 cents then, 50, even 50. If you had bought it at 50 cents, say a few thousand coins, even just $1,000 would have been 2,000 coins. That's well near over $50,000 at this point in time, which is absolutely insane. $1,000 becoming 50,000, that's 5,000% increase, which does follow on track with what we see here. As for why I think the coin will keep this momentum going, it's not on Coinbase as of yet. It just recently launched on crypto.com on the 28th of October, and that kind of helped push this movement, which had already begun well before then, as even into September, early October, it was up over a few 100% from where it had been just a month prior. It's been a wild ride, at the very least. And let's get right into showing you my mining setup and what I have going. I took a little video on my phone. I'll keep the volume on for a little bit of a run through. Maybe I'll go back through it, but so you can see how loud this machine is, as this is not your average miner. It is more an industrial unit at the least. It does basically what 10 of the, I think it's 10, I could be miscalculating that, but of the what the KD boxes do per day, which is insane. I mean, 10 of those, even when I started, would have costed upwards of $20,000. I did get this machine for a very modest price back in the China ban scare when that all happened back in May. I had gotten this machine from Coin Mining Central on a little deal they were doing for it was around 13,000, and then I had to put more into it, and um, by the end of it, I was probably spent around 14,000 on this whole unit and all the after cost. You'll see in part of this video, an AC unit on the side that worked for the first month, but then overheated and the motor blew up on me. So now you'll see I have a ventilator that actually does really well in helping with the heat, as this thing puts out a lot of heat. When it was 95 degrees out here, it was hard to keep this thing going at a modest temperature. It will turn itself off when the unit reaches 100 degrees Celsius, but we'll get more into the temperatures and stuff after I go through this video. So let's get right into it. As you can see, all these cables are from go back. All those cables there go back into a little power unit that I've been using to make a 220 volt outlet that can supply this miner. It's called a Quick 220 Pro. I'll show that a little bit later, but it's worked very well for me. You have to be careful with those though, as it can do, I believe it's a maximum of 4,800 watts. I'll have to check up on that. But the KD5, being that it only uses 2,250 watts, which is still more than a standard household outlet can put out, it is less than half of the capacity of that Quick 220 unit. So it is under that 80% limit for running it 24 hours a day and is able to be run on that unit very safely. And it's actually a lot cooler than I thought it would be. I thought it would get hot as anything, but it doesn't get warm at all. The miner gets warmer than anything else. In this video, that orange ventilator you can see, I don't actually have it on in this video, as this was taken at nighttime and it's like 40-50 degrees out, so the miner does fairly well in there. You'll see it's about 85 degrees in the room at this time, but it can get well up into the 90s, hundreds, especially if I closed the closet door all the way, which you'll see I leave it a crack. If I closed it all the way, it could get up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit very quickly, and the miner would fairly quickly reach its temperature limit and shut off. The miner itself likes to stay around 83, 84 degrees Celsius, which sounds really hot, but it's actually perfectly fine for the miner. That's where its fans will adjust to try and keep it at that temperature. And the fan speeds can go up to 6,200 rotations per minute. Beyond that, if it keeps increasing in temperature, it'll climb up to 100 Celsius before the miner shuts itself off for safety. But I usually get worried around the 90 degrees Celsius point as it gets hot in there. That's usually around 100 degrees Fahrenheit in the closet that I have it in here. All the black on the bottom is soundproofing in an apartment, so I didn't want it going to my downstairs neighbors, and it's worked very well with the carpet flooring. I don't think it's bad at all. But like I said, this is very loud, as you can hear in this. I can still hear it through my wall right now, but I'm right next to it, so it's uh, it's modest. You can manage it. I would not have this in your bedroom or anywhere near where you're trying to sleep or anything, though, because this is a very loud machine. I still hear it at night through a whole wall, which is something. But let me continue this video. You can see the rest of it. And as you can see, 84 Celsius, 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. The percentages of the humidity, which I have had no problems with, as it's not very humid where I am. But the miner does have a warning that I believe it's something around 60% where it's supposed to keep it under. As you can see, where the intakes are, it is the loudest. And that right there, if I go back a second, is the Quick 220 unit. You can see I have this outlet here, which goes into one phase connected to the guest room outlet, obviously, and then another one going to my dining room. This specific system needs two phases, which most normal houses do have two different phases they can run on. That's not the same as like a guest bedroom and a master bedroom. So those are, I believe, different circuits. I could be wrong there, but you're looking for two different phases. My best advice is to contact an electrician, maybe someone you know, and just ask them if they could help you figure out where two phases in your house are. I actually had, when I got this unit, thought I was going to run it on a different outlet out towards the living room, but that ended up being on the same phase, and I had to go to the other side of my apartment where the other phase ran off of. You also need to be careful. It can't be a GFI circuit, I believe they're called. And for safety, I've heard you can use them, but I switched out an arc fault for a regular breaker to be able to plug this into the guest room, which some people say is not the safest, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's still a regular breaker. From there, so we continue. You can see just the ventilator again. I have that, which is pumping out the window. When it is too hot, it is very good. It probably drops the temperature about 10 degrees, and that is just an air motor right there. I had tried, I believe you'll see it at the end here, but I had tried a AC unit originally, and that had worked very well for about a month. I mean, it kept the room cold, but it ended up uh, the motor ended up blowing up on me, and I wasn't able to return it because I didn't have the receipt anymore. So that was a little bit of a loss, but with how crazy Kadena's gone, that loss was covered in a day. So, I mean, I don't know if I could recommend getting into purchasing a Kadena miner right now, as if we go look right now the just for a KD5 Kadena miner and go to just say the shopping page, you see there's these AliExpress ones. I've heard bad things about AliExpress, but you can immediately pick out the fake listings. There's actually a listing that was here the other day that I don't even see anymore. I could probably pull it up on my phone, but there was a $60,000 eBay listing, and that was the only legitimate one I could really say I think was real. Because I mean, hash deploy, I've never even heard of these guys. That does seem like a more legit number though for the thing, for the KD5 as of recent. But this one right here, this eBay listing, this is a KD box. Okay, so KD boxes for 10,000. I can't really say that's worth it. When I purchased this machine, KD boxes were going for about 1,200. And even though the KD box right now, if we go to what to mine, is getting $40 a day, I cannot say that's going to last. The mining rates we can only see on MinerStat a month's time, but I have seen prior to this difficulty when I started mining back at the beginning of August was, I believe, somewhere between a 12 and a 20. I think it was around 12 to 15 when I started, and now it's gone crazy from that. I mean, we look at the just 1 month ago, it was about a 47, which it's lower every day. This started increasing rapidly when the August batch of KD5s as well as KD2s released. From what I've heard, the KD2 was is manufacturing is discontinued, but I could be wrong there. That could have just been some FUD going around. But we go up to here now, and you see, as of today, it's a almost 83 the difficulty. It's near doubled from a month ago, and I know a few days ago, looking at the charts, it had actually in just 1 month the difficulty had doubled. When I started mining, I was getting 75 to 100 coins a day, but it was going down really quickly every day as everyone was receiving their August batch of KD5s. Um, you can't find KD5s anymore for less than 40 to $60,000. Now, is that really worth it? Yes, right now it says we could make $170,000 a year, but this difficulty is going to keep going up. As they're able to produce more KD5s, which to my knowledge, there's very few that are idle and for sale right now. I don't think you're really going to find any for less than way more you should be paying for it. It's with the rise in difficulty, the price still needs to keep going parabolic for it to really pay itself off. I mean, I got a few thousand coins very quickly. But now, I mean, just yesterday I was getting at one point in the day 650 coins. Now it's 100 coins less just because the difficulty recently has been so volatile going between that 79 and 80. I mean, you see the amount of coins I'm getting a day change so quickly right now. Right now, oh wow, it's actually as of right now, there's something going on that's causing a bit of a crash. And actually, no, I mean a rise in the difficulty right up to an 88, which is insane. That's a whole coin a day, which now is an extra $22. That's some mining profits for each day. The mining profits go down $22. If you pay $60,000 for one of these right now, is it really going to be worth it in a month? That's what you really got to think about. I obviously got an amazing deal on this, having gotten it so long ago, well before these increases in price. It's worth it for me to keep this miner going and keep mining with it and see where it goes because I have already paid this back. If you're spending $60,000 And buying it at its peak, are you really going to be able to pay it back that quickly? Even if Kadena goes parabolic and you have 2,000 Kadena when it hits $100, that's a quarter of your profits, over a quarter, still going to paying back your machine, which you got to think about, do you really want? And a lot of people don't even have $60,000 to get one of these, but be very cautious because AliExpress, I've seen a lot. I mean, a few days ago I was seeing some on AliExpress for like $1,000, which no, that's not going to happen. You're getting scammed right out of the box. But I mean, let's search on AliExpress right now, KD5, see if we can pick out the fake listings. Yep, right here, pre-order. But now this is the iffy thing about this pre-order. This is saying this is a pre-order for 15,500. I've heard some rumors of a November batch, but everyone in the know that I've spoke to, the November batch seems to not really exist, and it seems that it might have been August batch KD5s that certain more sketchy resellers are going to be mining with for a few months, and then they're going to sell them off, claiming that there was a secret November batch from Gold Shell. But no one really knows when the next Gold Shell KD5 batch is going to be released. The August batch was the last batch, and before that, it was the May batch. So going by that, it's like a 5 month time frame. I think I botched that, but say we have 6 months till another KD5 batch comes out. This difficulty will have to stop going up a bit sooner than later, as right now Goldshell is really only making about 50 KD boxes per week, and they're increasing the price very rapidly, as you can imagine. So this difficulty might also steady out soon. I mean, it has a bit. Before it was going down at like 2 4 coins a day sometimes. Now it's settling out. I've been getting 20 coins a day for probably over a week now, which is very steady compared to what it has been in the past month or so as people have been receiving these miners. Now that there's not as many to go around, is this going to steady out, or are enough KD boxes going to be produced that it keeps increasing to a point where with a KD5, I'm getting 10 coins a day, which would still right now be $220 a day and would be still insanely over any predictions I could have made previously. In my opinion, I didn't think Kadena was going to hit above $5 before it got on Coinbase. But now, with the way it's going, it could likely go way higher. And let's get into why I believe that is the case. So this man right here, Dr. Strout Harbor, is a bit of a genius. We go to the original Bitcoin white papers, all the way at the top here. Bitcoin Peer-to-Peer Electronic Cash System by Satoshi Nakamoto. So if we scroll down to the references, all the way at the bottom, this is obviously the Bitcoin white papers from 2008. But if we go down to the references, all these people really only have one reference, except for Dr. Strout Harbor, who is the same man we see here. And Dr. Strout Harbor has been doing this for a very long time. And this article, or I'm sorry, publishing from 1997, a secure name for bit strings, I think this might have part into where the name Bitcoin comes from, as How to Timestamp a Digital Document from 1991, which there's actually another one from 1987, which I have all of them here, um, is really the basics of where the idea of some sort of digitally locked currency on all these chains, it's where the basis for Bitcoin comes from. And if we go to here, how to timestamp a digital document, you can see these are all real publishings, and these are all from Dr. Strout Harbor. You can go to his LinkedIn and find these yourself. But as you can see, these are some very old papers talking all about cryptos many, many years before Bitcoin was even a thought. And I do say cryptos. They're not specifically talking about cryptos, but they're talking about the same type of codes and um, protocols that led to Bitcoin's creation. As you can see, here's secure name for Bitstrings, also referenced in the Bitcoin white papers. And you can see he's talking about all the everything. Sorry, um, but some of these are from way before Bitcoin was even a thought. 1987, theory of minimum knowledge protocols, which all encompasses these theories and protocols that when they were first theorized. As you can see, all these references to Turing machine, it's just a lot of stuff that most people don't understand. And one of the guys on the team for Kadena is the guy who created all of this. He's a Satoshi Nakamoto that still exists today, which is insane that this is what he's working on. He is the advisor of this team, and I've he just recently held a talk in New York City. I saw a video of it, and it was very interesting. I highly recommend checking out Kadena's YouTube channel, as they have some very interesting content on there that I cannot recommend more. Um, it's all very well organized and laid out for anyone to really understand and see how Kadena works and how it's better than most other cryptocurrencies. I don't like to say better, as it kind of seems biased, but I have become a little biased towards Kadena as time has moved on. They've been very active with their team. We can go check out their Discord right now, and it is popping. I mean, they've been gaining thousands of followers. Just today, a very interesting development is the Chainweb mining client, which would allow people to mine without a pool. I currently think I'm going to stick with my pools for a little bit for my miner, as I don't want to get too into something new before it's been overly tested. But this could be big. This could take 2% every day, I could get back. Because right now at 400 and what, $50 a day, it's at 2% of that. Um, they're taking $90 a day from me, which is actually, is that right? No, that would be 20%. I apologize. Uh, it would be $9 a day for me, which isn't much, but still $9 a day for some miners. That would be a lot if their machines were making less, but getting rid of the fees would be really big. So this is an interesting development, and we'll have to see where that goes. But I highly recommend joining this Discord if you're interested in Kadena. People are always around to help. This is all that you can get into very technical stuff too, and the mining general is a good place for miners to discuss and talk about stuff. I will warn you, there has been a lot of scammers and a lot of stuff going around recently. As you can see right here, I asked a question yesterday, got some fake support responses within seconds, which is always good to know. Just be very wary, as these are all fake things. I usually report the spam. These are just ones I haven't gotten to yet, because I get, when I first started, I didn't really get any, but now with the pump, I am getting multiple of these a day of people saying, "Oh, I want Bitcoin. Oh, I want Ether. Oh, join this pump manipulator." It's a lot of fun going around because there's so much money in it now. It's just insane, and you have to be very wary of the scams and everything. How I sell my Kadena, we could get into that. I use KuCoin. So you can see here's for, I use 8-hour increments, but this goes back to October 21st, and you can see just where it's gone up as of recently. In the past few days, it's gone insane. It hit 25 and crashed back down, which I kind of expected. It shouldn't have made even this move that quickly. I mean, that's billion in value, I think, right there. But it went back down. It held a lot higher than I thought it was going to. It didn't even hit back down to a 15. I think it hit, yeah, like 15.20, and then kept its ride back up. And now, as of now, it's back up to 22 a little bit. It was at 22.50, 22.80 even, and now it's just going to keep this ride back up. Um, Now, why I think it has the potential to get to $100. This is going to be the final part of the video, but I think it's one of the most important. So, why I think Kadena has potential to hit $100. Obviously, it's still not on Coinbase, but it's the tokenomics. So we go to, actually, let me see if I can find it. So here you see the token allocation. Only 9% is to the early investors, like early. I could be considered an early investor, but not like before the token was sold early. So early investors and the team only have 9% of the token, which is a lot of these smaller tokens, altcoins. It's usually encompasses this 20%. It's usually 20, 30% of the coin is held by the team. But in this case, it's only 9% is held by the team. The rest is to the whole infrastructure and platform, and 70% is going to be going out to the miners, as there's going to be a billion tokens eventually, but it's going up very slowly. I mean, not very slowly, but it's very incremental. So here we can see for the past 6 months the token supply. Obviously, it's gone up a bit from 120 million to 157, but that's in 6 months. So that's about 40, it's actually not even 40 million coins in 6 months going into circulation, which it will keep like that. It's will not increase very rapidly in the amount of coins going into circulation. Not too sure about what these jumps encompass, but I believe it's giveaways and deals and stuff coming out of the platform. I am not entirely sure. I don't want to give any false information, but if it continues like this, we could only see in the next 6 months another 40 million up to a 200 million coins in circulation, which it will likely get on Coinbase in the next 6 months, maybe even the next 2 months, really, as it's a US based coin, which Coinbase definitely likes their US based coins. And as of the past few weeks, it has gained, I believe, like 2.5 billion in market value, which we could actually check that. It's just insane. I mean, we go to 30 days, we see the market cap go, yeah, from $350 million up to, as of right now, $3.6 billion. Now, if it continues this ride up, which it very well should, and reaches something like Solana, Cardano, even, which it'll probably hit all these before. I mean, it will. But if it even hits a market cap of, say, Dogecoin or Shiba Inu, and I'm going to do the math for right now, $20 billion market cap, getting basically up to the top 15 to $20 billion market cap. If we go to that, this is for a $15 billion market cap. If it happens within the next, say, 3-4 months, we are at say 180 million in circulation. If it hits a $15 billion market cap in that time, which getting on Coinbase, that's going to be a lot of momentum. The coin is very much in development, and with the bull run crypto is having currently, this is very well foreseeable, and I think it will be much more than this. But this is really my minimum for the next 6 months, and that's still an $83 Kadena, which we go a percent increase calculator. I'll have to search that up. Let's see, percentage. So let's say we go from 22, let's just say 84. That's still a 281% increase over your investment if you were to put in right now and it hit that 15 billion in market value, which I think it very well could go much above that. And say we get a the $30 billion in market value. So let's just say divided by 100, let's say 200 million. It's still a $150 Kadena right there. I should have known that off the top of my head, but that is insane. If you have 1,000 Kadena, that would be $150,000, which is off the charts. Um, I think it'll very well get up in here, and I think it'll beat Solana, Cardano. It'll get up here. It's going to take some time, but we will see it. And I do believe it will go down at some point, at least in price, as the amount of tokens come into circulation. The thing is, these tokens are going into circulation over the course of 100 years, and it's 1 billion tokens. It's going to be scalable. So it's going to be a very long time before it's inflated and capped. It's going to be able to gain much quicker than it inflates. And so the inflation, while it seems like the biggest worry, is definitely not that much of a worry. We will see Kadena at the top of the chart soon. It's now at 55. I believe it was at rank 60 when I started planning out this video, which is just insane. I mean, in 24 hours, another 25%. Obviously, it was down this morning, but it's just crazy to see 200% in 7 days. That's the percent increases that I'm expecting to see again within the next 6 months, especially getting on Coinbase. When Kadena launches on Coinbase, we are going to see some parabolic movements to the moon, and I can promise that. But that's really all I have to say. That's my experience mining Kadena. Hope this helps some people out in thinking about what they're going to mine and if they want to invest in this crypto. But that's really my 10 cents. And thanks for listening. I hope anyone that sees this enjoys. Sorry if the quality isn't that great. This is my first video I've ever made, but hey, it's something. Hopefully it helps someone out. Thanks again.